All right, I think this will be the 5th piece. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to be putting the, I'm going to seal the edges of this so that when I pull the tape off, it won't have blood underneath. So I basically take this color and I paint it on under the tape, basically, and then on top of the tape, if that makes any sense. Kind of like an old painter's hack. And it works really well. So I've got my jar of really dark purple here. So I try really hard to leave a little bit of the tape exposed, and I don't need to paint over the whole thing. I just need to get the tape edges. But I try to leave a little bit of the tape exposed and not just cover it. And the reason why that is I know my proclivity to like walk away from the studio or even just a particular canvas or whatever, and how bad that is. I should probably like put more light on my face. There we go. Not thinking about the lighting in here. So what I try to do is I try to leave myself like little clues that will help me to pick up the piece and be like, I know exactly what I'm doing with this. Now, if you're with me yesterday for any of the live stream, you're going to know that I was like wrestling because I had no idea. This was not touched for years. And I think it was because it was like stuck up way up high. And I'm 5 feet tall. And if I'm not looking at it, I'm not going to think about it. So yeah, this one I tried. I really did. But I just decided, okay, I'm going to dive in how it makes the most sense. I either have one of two options. It's to tear off all the tape and kind of like just reevaluate, or just to go with it and build on top of it, and then see what happens when I rip off all the tape and do a reveal. So I'm sorry, I'm stuttering a little bit because I'm chatty. So the lives are a perfect opportunity for me. I don't really love to talk in the crowd, but I've been teaching art for so long, and it's just like natural for me to do it. So this is a great way for me to like scratch the teaching itch without having to drag my crap all over the place and have other people use my materials. And I don't know, just people, like who doesn't like to have their like safe space, All right, I'm just trying to hurry here. Not hurry, but I'm just trying to make sure I get a good seal around the edges of each piece. And obviously the more pieces I put, the more painting I got to do. The first, the one with the layer with only one piece of tape wasn't a challenge. I was live yesterday for several hours actually, and I had planned to be on there for about 1 hour, and I've actually got it loaded up, so you can always go check it out if you didn't get to see the whole thing or you weren't there. But I ended up being online for like 3.5 hours almost, and I think really I felt bad for leaving. There was always at least 3 or 4 people in the room, and I thought, well, I don't want to just like bail on people. It seems kind of rude. So I stayed and I made art and I got stuff done. And at the end of the day, it was a really good painting session. So sometimes I buzz through these abstract minis just trying to hurry up and get to the next thing. And I felt like, well, like I can't really change the activity that I'm working on in the live because it would just like be weird. I don't know. Maybe you can move the camera. I guess. I don't know. I'm still learning. But anyways, I had this, notion that I had to kind of like stick it out doing exactly what I was doing the way I was doing it. And so I ended up getting just a lot done and being able to be like, I don't know, really thoughtful about what I was doing, which was kind of cool. A lot of times I'm like watching other YouTubers while I'm painting, and that will kind of keep me going. But I found the live streaming was actually a lot more effective to keep me working on what I was working on. So who knew? I plan to be live streaming tonight with my husband, which is fun. I think people really, that piece of tape is wicked crooked. I think people really respond to like the idea of a husband and wife team painting together in a studio. So it might be an unfair advantage, but I'm going to use it, you know, because I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I really am. All right, so that tape looks pretty sealed. I'm just like looking for little cracks. The tape sometimes doesn't want to adhere tightly to the canvas. And if I recall, I don't think I smashed it down with my thumb like I normally would. The one downside about doing things on a live stream is I might get forgetful about my normal, like standard operating procedure for things because I'm talking. And that sometimes does happen. All right. I guess we're going to call this one quits for now. So now I can take the next color, whatever it is that I want it to be, and add that to this one. But I don't know what it's going to be yet because that is the darkest color that's on this canvas. So